Alright, this is a video I've thought about making for quite some time, and right now this is about the only chance I have left to make it. Because I've got these two engines here, I wanted to show the similarities and differences between the LA International engine, which is here on the left, and the LB International, which is over on the right. The reason I'm having my last chance is because I just sold this LB engine to one of my cousins who's going to try to build a motorcycle with it. So good luck to him. These are both throttle governed engines. They're not hit and miss, even though some people may call them hit and miss. But the LA and the LB are essentially the exact same engine. 90% of their parts will interchange. You have a 1936 horse and a half, 2.5 horse LA right here, and this is a 1945 International LB over here on the right. You may notice a difference that here we have a valve cover for the LB, and the LA does not. It's just because the cylinder heads were machined differently. The LB was machined to have a valve cover, and the LA cylinder head was not machined to have a valve cover. But most of the parts will interchange between the two as long as you have the same horsepower. The main difference is the lubrication for the rocker arms. On the LA, you have this grease cup, or this oil cup right here, where you just flip the lid up, you use an oil can to pump a little bit of oil in there, and the oil will travel down through the oil cup, through the shaft, and lubricate these rocker arms. So that's manual lubrication. But on the LB, it's all automatic. You just put oil in the crankcase, which you do for both engines, here in the back with this plug. They both take 1 quart of oil. If you have a 3 to 5 horsepower, it will take 3 pints of oil, according to the manuals. But the rocker arms on the LB have this felt here, and this felt is soaked in oil. And it's automatically fed by this tube, which goes back with the push rods toward the cam, and it basically siphons oil from the crankcase of the engine out into this felt, and then it oils the rocker arms that way. That's the main difference, but this is a very early LA engine, so I'll show another difference here. Most engines, both LA and LB, will have the throttle adjusted by this little rod right here. I believe they're a 300 to 500 RPM engine. I believe that is off the pulley. And this is governing your speed. It just puts either more or less tension on the governor spring, which is inside of the crankcase, and as you can see, it has little notches cast into the side cover here, so you can put your throttle adjustment rod in one of those notches and it will stay there. All the way forward is idled all the way down, all the way back is sped up as fast as it can go. So you got 300 RPM, 500 RPM on the pulley side. And that just goes down here to this little piece of pot metal, and that just pushes a plunger in to put extra tension on that governor. Now, most of the L series engines will have that. This one, being a 1936, is early enough that it doesn't. This one actually has a screw and a jam nut back here. You have to loosen that nut, then thread the screw out to slow it down, and thread the screw in to speed it up. Then tighten that jam nut down wherever you want it, when it's set to whatever speed you want. But a couple other differences, that actually has the international magneto, which is original to the engine. This one has a Wyco X magneto, which I do not believe is original to the engine. I think maybe the original was either broken or lost or didn't work anymore, and somebody just thought, hey, I've got this magneto, I'll make it work. And then another thing on this one that is not original is, of course, the valve train. It's a little chromed out, a little flashy. So, if there are any other differences I missed that you know of, please leave a comment below. I hope this has been helpful. If you had any questions about the differences between an LA or an LB. And one more thing I'll throw out there is that these engines, for someone who is looking to get involved in the hobby of antique stationary engines, these are a very good starter engine. The parts are readily available. These engines are very inexpensive. Both of these I bought for $300, and they took minimal amounts of work, probably a half hour of tinkering on each, and I had them both running. So they're good starter engines, parts are readily available, most of the parts interchange. You have the 1.5 to 2.5 and the 3 to 5 horsepower, so a little bit of variation there, and they're just kind of a neat little engine, even though they're fairly common to start out with. So I hope this was helpful, and I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching.